Hello guys, this is Abdul Ghafoor with the Teaching and Learning. Today in Pedagogy TLS, I'll be discussing about the laws of learning, Thorndike's major laws, which he has been introduced in the beginning of the 20th century. I'll give you the brief introduction. The Thorndike's was the educational psychologist. He also considered the father of educational psychologists. He gave us the many laws, I'll say 7 laws, but out of these 3 are the major laws and which are the common classroom practices, and they have a very important role in the learning. So in this video, I'll be talking about the 3 laws of the learning and how these laws of learning playing a very important role in the student's life or every individual or the learner's life. Before that, those who didn't subscribe the Teaching and Learning, don't forget to subscribe. If you want more videos like that, press the bell icon button. Your comments, your liking videos is highly appreciated. So let's see what are these 3 laws of learning. 3 laws of learning. You can see on the screen. In 1930 or before 1930, number 1, the law of effect. Number 2, the law of exercise. Number 3, the law of readiness. So if you want to understand what are these things, that you have imagine yourself as a student. What as a student you need to do? First, I believe if you want to learn, you should be ready. If you want to affect these actions or the learning process that you want to enjoy, that learning must be enjoyable and it affect you. And if you want to command on these skills, you have to practice. So these laws have an interconnection. They are interrelated. And without these things, learning wouldn't be possible. Now let's see the first law of effect. Law of effect, which means that any behavior that is followed by pleasant consequences is likely to be repeated. And if behavior followed by unpleasant consequences is likely to be eliminated or avoided. Our students, they want to enjoy the learning, they want to enjoy the classes, but what factors a teacher has to practice? There should be interesting activities, there should be a learning atmosphere, there should be a creativity, there should be a school's culture, there should be atmosphere. They must understand the language of instruction. There must be a motivation. All the factors that make the student pleasant, pleased, and enjoyable, definitely the learning will be keep repeated. It will be repeated. It will be enjoyable. So, a teacher or classroom practices must satisfy the student's learning. If there's no satisfaction, that means the students are going to get bored, there will be no learning. In many schools, I have seen that most of the students, they get bored after 10 or 20 minutes. What is the factor of that? The factor is unpleasant consequences. The content, the way of teaching, the skills, if they know already, definitely the interest of learning will be less. So if you think If you notice, if you observe the students are getting bored, that means there's a problem. The students are not being satisfied. So for satisfied, you have to identify, you have to observe that. So law of effect means to satisfy the learning, and definitely consequence will be the pleasant. It will motivate, it will develop the students' uh, interest, and there will be enjoyable learning. So this is the law of effect, and how uh, we practice in the classroom. You are the best observer, you can check it out. Second thing, exercise. Exercise, in simple word, practice. Law of use or law of disuse. What we use and what we disuse. If you are using frequently, means you are good in it. Practices makes more interesting, make more efforts, make more experienced. So knowledge is of no value unless you put it into practice. If you know theories, if you know all these things, but you are not practicing, if you know how to teach, but you are not teaching, if you are not complying, definitely it will be like a, a rigid mold. So learning is just like a driving car. So you need to practice, and more practice give you the more command on it. It's a shaping your body. The more exercise gonna give you, the more fitness. Writing, if you see the early child, newborn or pre-primary students, they don't know how to write. Okay, so what make them to be a writer? Practice. Mathematician, what makes him as a mathematician? Practice. Musician, practice. All these need to practice, and then to strengthen a skill. So if there is no practice, so that means you have no strength in, and discontinuity of these will weaken your skill. So law of exercise means law of use. Let the students in the classroom to practice more, and either they are in the lab, either they are in a innovative, or they're creating something, and how they can create a best thing with the practice. So the law of exercise will give you the value, the proper value. It will polish you, it will give you the success, it will give you more uh, information about that, and it will give you the command on it. So the law of exercise, the student has to practice, and it will give the connection between its strength and practice. Third and the last one, the readiness. Actually, the readiness is the first, but I brought it into the last one. As I have mentioned, if somebody is not ready to learn, you cannot teach him. If someone is not ready to learn, learning cannot be automatically installed. For learning, we need willingness. If you're not willing, you cannot be taught. And this readiness can be possible with the law of effect. If you have an interest, definitely you will be ready for the learning. So these are the preparation of actions. Once you enter in the classroom, you have to um, check that the students are ready or not. If they are ready, then you have to start. So make the environment, make the classroom equipped, make the uh, suitable learning atmosphere that really works. But if somebody is not ready, you cannot instill their skills. It cannot be automatically. So here's about the what we like and what we dislike. Okay, so if your lesson is interesting, if your lesson is enjoyable, definitely students will be ready. When you arrive in the classroom, you will be ready. So you have to check it out, okay? uh, Law of readiness, which means that learning takes place when an action of tendency is aroused through the preparatory adjustment, set or attitude. So set the student's attitude, and check they are ready to learn or not. It is not all about the classroom practices in every field. Okay? Something we like, some we don't. Okay, the thing we like means we are ready to learn. Something we don't means we do not want. So everybody is good in some skills. What you are good in that area, you have to practice more. That is called the readiness. So these were the three laws, guys. I'm sure that you understood. And if you have any question about that, you can write in the comment box. Inshallah, we'll be meeting in the next lesson with a new topic and a new theme. Till that, don't forget to subscribe to Teaching and Learning. We'll be meeting with a new content. Till that, bye, stay blessed and stay safe.